You'd think that one of the most depraved conspiracies in American history would be hidden away in some remote, forgotten corner of the country. But what if I told you it was happening in a quiet commune just miles from the White House? We're diving into the story of the Finders, and believe me, it raises some deeply unsettling questions, not just about the cult, but about who might have been protecting them.
It all started in 1987. The police raided a Washington, D.C. commune, thinking it was a pretty standard child neglect case. But what they walked into that day, according to investigators and declassified government reports, was the beginning of a rabbit hole. A rabbit hole that would lead them to satanic rituals, a global trafficking network, and, unbelievably, to the CIA.
So, what did the police actually find when they breached those doors? Well, it was a far cry from some peaceful, off-the-grid community. It was a scene of absolute horror.
You know, the official reports use cold words like malnourishment, but the investigators on the scene, they painted a much, much grimmer picture. They described skeletal children with completely vacant eyes. They saw signs of what they believed was bizarre ritualistic abuse and a level of psychological conditioning so total it felt calculated. Deeply, deeply sinister.
All of this led some of the investigators to a terrifying conclusion. This wasn't just a home where kids were being neglected. No, this was something else. It was more like a laboratory, and the children, they were the experiments. It became obvious really fast that the local police had stumbled into something way, way over their heads. And that's when the FBI took over. As they started digging, the picture just kept getting bigger and more disturbing. This wasn't some small, isolated cult. The evidence started to point towards a sophisticated international operation.
In the declassified government documents, they're referred to as the Finders Network, and the definition is chilling, a global child trafficking network. But here's the part that just blew investigators away. They were allegedly using a sophisticated computer system to do it. Now, to really get why that's so shocking, you have to remember when this was all happening. Yeah, 1987. Let that sink in for a second. This is before the internet as we know it even existed for the public. The idea that some creepy cult was running a worldwide trafficking ring on a computer network back then, it was almost science fiction. The allegations were that this computer network was being used to manage the whole horrific enterprise. If that's true, these people weren't just monsters, they were pioneers. Pioneers in digital depravity, leveraging technology on a scale that was practically unheard of at the time. So the FBI agents start following the money, following the digital breadcrumbs. But they didn't hit a dead end. No, they hit a wall, a massive wall made of pure institutional power. So where did that trail lead? I mean, the investigation didn't just go cold, it was stopped cold. It led somewhere very specific, somewhere very protected. It led to a force powerful enough to stop the FBI dead in its tracks. And here it is. According to the government's own declassified files, the trail didn't go cold. It pointed directly toward individuals inside the Central Intelligence Agency. This wasn't some wild conspiracy theory. This claim, this link between the cult and the CIA is right there in the paperwork. It was the most explosive revelation of the entire case. This connection left investigators staring at two equally horrifying possibilities. I mean, which is worse? Was this entire depraved cult actually a clandestine CIA operation, or were its members just so powerful, so connected, that they were completely and utterly untouchable? Okay, so you have a mountain of damning evidence, right? You've got traumatized children, a global network, and a direct link to the CIA. You'd expect justice to be swift and severe, but what happened next was the exact opposite.
Just look at how this all went down. First, a mountain of damning proof is collected. Then, suddenly, the FBI investigation is stopped cold. The entire federal case is just shut down. And the final official report, it states that no wrongdoing occurred. Nothing to see here, folks. But the worst part, the most immoral, stomach-turning part of this whole thing, the children. The victims at the very center of this nightmare were reportedly handed right back to the commune, right back to their abusers. The system didn't just fail them, it betrayed them in the most profound way imaginable. It just forces you to ask a really heavy question. Who makes that call? Who in this country actually has the power to not just obstruct an investigation, but to completely erase a crime of this magnitude from the official record? The Finders case didn't just end, it was buried deep, and it remains this festering wound in American history. It's a chilling reminder that some secrets,
Well, some secrets are just too protected to ever see the light of day.
So what we're left with is this stark, unbelievable contrast. On one side, you have the official story, no wrongdoing occurred. And on the other side, you have declassified documents, you have witness statements, you have the haunted faces of those children. Trying to make those two realities fit together is impossible. For anyone who's looked at the files, it leads to one truly chilling conclusion. This was a network of evil so powerful it was allegedly being protected by the very institutions that are supposed to hunt these people down. The watchdogs were guarding the wolves.
And that brings us to the final, deeply unsettling thought that you should really let sink in. If a crime this monstrous, this well-documented, could be so completely and so successfully buried,
What else are they hiding right under our noses?